This is the Dallas Morning News. It's Monday, September 29th. A mix of sun and clouds with a high of 89, partly cloudy tonight with a low of 70. Here are today's headlines. The Dallas Immigration and Customs Enforcement Office will remain closed Monday in the aftermath of last week's shooting at the site. The closure means migrant check-ins will not take place. A new date for the check-ins has yet to be determined. The shooting last week left one detainee dead and two in critical condition. The shooter died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Joseph Rothrock, the FBI agent in charge of the Dallas field office, said the gunfire is being investigated as an act of targeted violence. ICE had initially planned to reopen the Dallas office on Monday, and migrants who had previously scheduled check-ins for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday were expected to appear Monday for their appointments. Still, some migrants showed up Thursday morning for check-ins as they had not received any notification that their appointments had been postponed. They also feared consequences if they did not go to the office. Check-ins are a regular part of ICE operations, and migrants show up to the Dallas ICE office to ensure they are complying with terms of their release. The check-ins are used to keep track of migrants in and around North Texas. 3 detainees were shot Wednesday, but federal authorities have said the shooter, identified as Joshua John, was targeting ICE agents, according to writings authorities discovered at his residence. In other news, Dallas-Fort Worth is in the midst of a data center boom driven by artificial intelligence, and everybody's talking about it. The spaces that house computer systems, servers, tech equipment, and the infrastructure to support it all have existed for decades. Yet, skyrocketing demand for places to store online information has transformed what used to be nondescript office buildings into factory-sized structures. There's lots of excitement about near-term growth and opportunities, especially on Wall Street, which is front-running the trillions of dollars being spent on artificial intelligence, and more to come. But the optimism is increasingly giving way to concern about how data centers will put a strain on natural resources, energy, and affordable property, and whether there's enough of all three to go around. For now, Dallas-Fort Worth is reaping the reward of being one of the nation's focal points for the data center boom, with new structures springing up across the region and state on a regular basis. Next up, Fair Park in South Dallas holds a history of segregation, exclusion, and injustice. Its blighted past is continuously highlighted in efforts to rebuild the community into a prosperous neighborhood after land was taken and families displaced. The 139-year relationship between the State Fair of Texas and the largely black community that surrounds it is complicated. Thousands of Texans descended upon the South Dallas venue this weekend in an annual pursuit of whimsical thrills and deep-fried delights. But about 65 years ago, the city made a decision to uproot hundreds of homes in Fair Park, starting in the 1960s. For many with deep roots in the area, there's still an uncertainty about how they should feel regarding the fair's impact on their lives and the area they call home. The surrounding community acknowledges that decisions made by the city in the name of making Fair Park an attraction has hindered the majority black neighborhood from thriving. The State Fair, the main tenant at Fair Park, has worked to heal this relationship by giving back and reinvesting in the neighborhoods that surround the park. The annual attraction has invested millions in scholarships to nearby schools, established a year-round farm that provides much-needed produce to local food pantries, and hired neighborhood residents for seasonal jobs in a community that has lost homes and wealth to expansion of a fair that once limited the attendance of African Americans to just one day a year. And after 70 minutes of football and the second overtime of the season for the Dallas Cowboys, many fans were left unfulfilled. There was a late fourth-quarter lead, big plays from Dak Prescott, George Pickens, and Javonte Williams. It seemed as if the lineup changes and defensive signal calls this Cowboys team promised were working. But ultimately, it was not enough. The Cowboys and Packers finished in a 40-40 tie. It was the second highest scoring tie in NFL history. The last minute of overtime was stunning. The Cowboys took a 40-37 lead on a Brandon Aubrey 22-yard field goal with 4:42 left. But the Packers drove the length of the field and tied the game when kicker Brandon McManus converted a 34-yard field goal as time expired. It was the first time the Cowboys had a game finish in a tie since 1969. Thanks for listening. For more on today's stories and the latest breaking news, visit dallasnews.com. Enjoy your day, and I'll be back tomorrow with more from the Dallas Morning News.